Hi everybody, it's me, that's right, it's me. Your friend, your comrade, your pal, your buddy, your cohort, your comrade, that's right. That's right. That's right. It's me. And I'm going to talk to you about something really funny. I've got another funny story here. That's right, a funny story about something that happened. About stuff that happened when I was in school. And this is just so funny. When I was in school, people used to wipe boogers on things. That's right, they did. They wiped boogers on stuff. And it was so funny because stuff got ruined and I don't think I can do this. But yeah, and it was really cool because see now. One of the stories I want to tell you, it happened when I was, now I could just write it down in story form, like in The Last Word or some cool publication like that cool people read. But the thing about it is that this is going to require some. This is like. It's going to require a visual. It's going to it's not something that I can describe in just words. It needs a visual. So there's one funny story when I was a sophomore in high school at the Bishop Brossard, the most hated school in the world. Or am I allowed to say that? But so some may disagree, but they never got to go to Brossard. But anyway, I was a sophomore once at Bishop Brossard. So this would have been like 1988 or 89. And I was in geometry class. And the geometry teacher, he was cool. I mean, not long ago he died, but he was cool. And he was the geometry teacher. And there was one day in class, and my seat was kind of towards the back, and there was this kid. There was this kid who had the seat next to me in the row next to me. Like I was sitting there, and he was sitting like right there, or facing the front of the room. And I was just sitting there, bored, trying to understand the geometry lesson. And it was probably something like proofs or something that I couldn't understand. I was really good at formulas and stuff, but not real good at proofs. And then after that, and then after that, I was sitting there, and I was just sitting there, and I noticed that right on the seat, on the desk in front of me, the back of the chair for the desk in front of me, it had this big booger wiped on it. That's right, it did. It had this big old booger. It was a big green piece of mucus, like a booger. It truly was. And I started snickering like this, like that, and and I kind of took my pencil or pen and kind of pointed at it, like I was, like, so the kid next to me would notice, so he would think it was funny, because I was trying to entertain. See, because I was an entertainer. And is this thing still filming? Is this thing still filming? Is it? And anyway, the thing is, I didn't actually consciously point it out to him. I was just kind of sitting there, kind of casually pointing at it with a pencil or pen. And then I looked over, the kid next to me, he noticed it. He noticed the booger too, and he was just sitting there laughing like this. Silently laughing. He was laughing his ass off, silently, like this. And I know what he was laughing at. He was laughing because there was a booger on the seat. I know that. I just know that because what else was he laughing about? He was laughing. He looked ridiculous because he looked funny because he was like trying to keep from making noise when you're laughing. He didn't put up his hand over his mouth or anything. Like I started doing that in elementary school because when I was in probably like first grade or something, somebody pooped all over the toilet seat at school, and the nun gave the whole school a big lecture about it, and and I tried to hide my laughter by sticking my hand up over my face like that because I didn't want the old nun to know I was laughing. So anyway, what happened then was, so that's how it happened when I was a sophomore. Somebody wiped a booger on the seat, and the kid in geometry class next to me started laughing because it was funny. It was really funny. But there was one other time, and this was I remember when I was in was it the antenna? What, the rabbit ears antenna is okay. So no, I won't say it. But anyway, so I remember back in grade school something funny happened too, because I remember in the late 70s, and I'd forgotten about this for years. In the late 70s, remember the $100,000 bar, the candy bar, the one. It was now it's called the 100 grand bar, but back then it was called the $100,000 bar. In the late 70s, there's this commercial. Yeah, that's right. It's the one that goes, dun 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 dun, caramel, chewy chewy caramel, $100,000 bar, chewy chewy caramel. That's commercial for the $100,000 bar. It's called the 100 grand now. But it was a candy bar called the $100,000 bar. And the commercials for it on TV, they would show people like this, they would bite into the candy bar, and then they would go. They'd go like this. They'd stretch it out of their mouths like this. They bite into the candy bar. They had chewy caramel in it. They'd stretch it out of their mouths like this, like it was bubble gum or something. Now, what's the point of a candy bar that you just stretch out of your mouth? I don't understand that. Now, I can understand it if it's bubble gum, because bubble gum is designed to have the texture like that, so you can blow bubbles with it. That's right. Because everybody back then blew bubbles. Some people still do. But back then it was actually news if you didn't blow bubbles. Because I'm talking about the late 70s here, and anybody blew bubbles with bubble gum back then. But this was a candy bar. This wasn't bubble gum. The commercial, they would stretch it out of their mouths like this. Because you get bubble gum and you do that. You do that with bubble gum, and you stretch it out of your mouth like. So there was a commercial, and I'd forgotten about this commercial for years until I saw it posted on YouTube. I probably forgot about it for 30 years before I saw it on YouTube, and the flood of fond memories of grade school came rushing back. And in grade school, people always sit there and they would go, People always sit there in grade school, and they do that with a booger, like a big column of snot, mucus hanging out of their nose. They'd snort, and a booger would come out, and they would go. They would go. And they'd stretch it. My arm, I don't think stretches that far, but they would they would go. They'd sit there, they'd sit there in class in grade school, and then they'd go a big strand of snot. And the side view looked just like the people stretching the caramel out of their mouths in the $100,000 bar commercial, and so okay, that's I can't keep doing this because I'm in a good mood right now. I can't keep doing this. So anyway, so what would happen would be this. So anyway, there was one day I don't know what we were doing. It might have been at home. It might have been at home, like as we were playing a board game or something. It might have been with a neighbor kid, but it might have been at school at recess where they had board games. But I kind of remember we were playing like a board game or something. So I would have been grade school age. I was maybe 7 or 8, I would say. But anyway, and we were arguing about the board game. And I said, well, you can't do this. This is a bad move here. You see, I win because you did this. And so the kid got real mad, and he went and snorted. A big column, a big bug column came out of his nose of wet, sticky mucus. Came out of his nose. He snorted. He went, and it dangled down in front of his mouth. And then he burst out laughing. He burst out laughing when he did this because it was funny, and that's what funny people do. That's what cool and funny people do. He was being a brat, but he snorted and a big booger came out of his nose. So that's the story of people wiping boogers on stuff and boogers coming out of people's noses. It's funny, it really is.